We are live.
All right, sir. So, sir, let me know whenever you want to start.
Let's start, Dr. Ghanshyam.
Okay, thank you, sir. Very good morning to all of you present here. Welcome to this national webinar in intellectual property right. It is a glorious moment to extend my warm wishes on the behalf of the Faculty of Life Science, Mandsaur University. I want to convey my heartfelt gratitude to the today's speaker, Dr. Akhil Agrawal, for accepting our invitation and welcome you in this virtual webinar. I like to extend a welcome to respected Chancellor Sir Narendra Nata Sir and the Vice Chancellor Sir Dr. Salendra Sharma Sir. I also welcome our HOD Faculty of Life Science, Dr. Shekhar Jain, all other department HODs, HOIs, all faculty members, and all of you. This event would have been impossible without the support of each and everyone present here. So I ensure the webinar will be profitable and therefore fruitful for the everyone present here. Thank you, one and all. Now I would like to introduce today's speaker, Dr. Akhil Agrawal. Dr. Akhil Agrawal is an assistant professor and group leader of Energy and Environment Research Laboratory at Central University of Rajasthan. He received his Ph.D. from the Energy and Resource Institute, Delhi, in short, New Delhi, and the Flemish Institute for Technological Research, Rito, Belgium, in petroleum microbiology. To further extend his perspective in this same field, after his PhD in 2009, he joined Petroleum Microbiology Research Group at University of Calgary, Canada, as postdoctoral scientist. Dr. Agrawal research area of expertise are oil-filled microbial solving and their enhanced oil recovery process. He has more than 30 publications in peer-reviewed journal and one US-Canada patent to his credit. Presently, he is a principal investigator of several projects funded by the Government of India, like the prestigious Imprint 2 project, DBT Twinning, DST SSTP, and the industrial project from the Clean India Limited, ONGC, and the Oil India Limited. His current research focuses on the development of the novel biochemical enhanced oil recovery, in short BCEOR technology, for the oil field of India. Recently, he was invited in the prestigious Petroleum Microbiology Conference at the SMOS 7 at Halifax, Canada, to present about PCEOR technology. He has won several awards and fellowships like REL Energy Innovation Award, GKLU Water and Environment Award, Best Business Plan Award, SERB Travel Grant, and the Belgium Government Fellowship. He is the member of national and international scientific societies like the AMI and the ISCB. In addition to this, Dr. Agrawal has been invited as a resource person to the number of international conferences like SMOS Canada, Reservoir Microbial Forum UK, and the University of Toronto, Canada. In 2020, he was also invited to give plenary lecture to one Indian Science Congress at GK Bangalore. He has successfully guided 2 PhD students and the 18 master students. Now, I like to invite Dr. Akhil Agrawal for today's session.
Thank you. Thank you, Ghanshyam. Thank you very much for a very extensive introduction. And I hope I worth this. By after my presentation, I'll see that whether I really worth this introduction. And thank you, Dr. Shekhar Jain and your Vice Chancellor for giving me this opportunity. So without further delay, I'll like to start my talk. And Ghanshyam, can I share my presentation right now?
Sure. Yes, sir, it's coming.
So, Ghanshyam, are you able to see the slides?
Yes, sir.
All right. Thank you very much. So, Today, as you all know, the topic of today's talk is intellectual property rights, and I hope most of you actually know about this topic, that what is intellectual property rights and why it is so important in today's world. Okay, I am going to describe you this with this first three figures, and I'm sure many of you know about these figures. Many people in Madhya Pradesh are actually getting their livelihood because of these three pictures which I am showing you. And I'm sure many of you know that these are the three geographical indications which is given to these three items in Madhya Pradesh. One is, first picture is of Ratlami Save, another is a leather toys of Indore, and third one is Chandreri fabrics, right? So these geographical indications are one type of intellectual property rights. So this slide shows that how important is the different intellectual property rights and why it is worth protecting them. Okay, so what is intellectual property? Actually, it is a value given to a tangible expression, means an expression which can be seen by the eyes, to an intangible idea, an idea which is in mind. If it comes as a product, as an expression, then it is known as intellectual property. Okay, and on that intellectual property, those different rights is given by a government or by a territorial administration, and those are known as intellectual property right. And why it is important? Because anything which is coming out of your intellect, and it is helping people, and if it has a utility, there is always a right that which you can enjoy that intellectual properties, monetary benefits, as well as the moral benefits of that intellectual property. Right. So intellectual property is not a very new thing. It started right in 1883 when people started knowing the importance of this in that intellectual property, and now we are in 2021, right? So you can see how a long journey of the intellectual property has been already done, and there are a number of different conventions took place for different kind of intellectual properties to see how those intellectual properties can be accommodated by the countries around the world, and how they can be beneficial for the people, right? So intellectual properties are actually can be of number of types. One is, you can say, as copyright or related right. As a faculty of the universities, copyright is also a very important kind of intellectual property for us. Copyright is given to any expression written in a form of a writing, or in a form of a art, or in a form of a audio, or in a form of a dance form, anything, any of these things which can be expressed in a way, or a broadcast TV serial, all of these can get the copyright. But today's our focus is more of patent, so probably I'll be talking more about the patent rather than the copyright. Then there are other kind of intellectual properties like patents, industrial design, trademarks, geographical indication, which we just talked about it, layout design, trade secrets, and protection of new plant varieties. All of these are important at their place. Okay, and these all have actually give some monetary benefit to the people who owns them. Okay, so most of them are really important. Okay, but out of all of them, the patent has got a much focus. Why? Because patent can give you a huge amount of monetary benefit, as well as a name and fame, if a patent is on your name, which can be utilized around the world. I'm going to explain few of these intellectual properties with just one product. So we all know about the Coca-Cola or a Coke, right? This Coca-Cola has number of if we see just one bottle of Coca-Cola, it has number of intellectual properties involved with this. Okay, so first of all, if the plastic bottle of Coca-Cola, that has a lid, right? And that lid is actually a patented lid, which has been patented long back, because earlier there used to be a lid from where the liquid can leak. But right now they make a hinge in that, which can help in keeping the liquid intact. Okay, and that was a patented design of a lid. Okay, it was very famous. Then we know about the trademark. This Coca-Cola, as written here, it is a trademark. Okay, and as well as we all know about that we have heard about this story that the formula of the Coca-Cola is a trade secret, means it has been known only by the few people around the world. So trade secret is not directly an intellectual property, but we call it as an intellectual property because trade secret is a secret which is actually shared with only a few people, And by this process, you can keep this secret valid for a very huge, for huge duration. Okay, because generally the patents are given for 20 years. So if you do a patent for anything, after 20 years it becomes public. But however, when you keep a trade secret, you can keep it for a very long duration, because then it is not shared with anyone. So that those are known as trade secret. It is a well-known fact with the Coca-Cola that the formula for the Coke is actually known around the world by only by the 5 topmost people in the Coke industry, and those 5 people never travel together. Okay, so this is known as like the trade secret. So we can know that how for one product how many intellectual properties are actually related to it. Let's talk about patent. What is patent? So patent is an exclusive right granted to an invention, which is a product or a process that provides a new way of doing something or offers a new technical solution to a problem. So that is a patent. Okay, so it is the few things which come in this patent when we see that it is a right, exclusive right given to an inventor, okay, on a product or a process, okay, which shows a new way of doing something. So you can understand that what are things are important for a patent is a novelty should be a very important component, and it is a right which is given to a person. So that is a limited monopoly right. Limited means it is given for a 20 years of duration. For 20 years you can enjoy that right, and you can use your patent for you can sell your patent, you can give a limited rights to someone for manufacturing it. You can yourself manufacture it and then sell it. So you get the 20 years of right, and it is a monopoly right because you got it. Once you get it, no one else in that territory can make it. By territory I means a nation. Okay, so the patent is actually territorial right. It is given for one particular country, and when you want to get it in more countries, you have to apply in different countries. So it is a territorial right. It is a limited monopoly right which is given to a person. So you can say it is a very delicate balance between the between giving a right to a person who actually should own it and to justify with the public, right? That's why it is given only for 20 years, because you also have to justify that you are not giving someone a huge amount of right so that it can hinder the right of others, right? So that's why it is government has made a very balanced criteria in this, that it is a limited monopoly right given for 20 years. After 20 years it will again come into a public, so then everyone can make it. You know about I'll give you example of LED lights. Initially LED lights were very costly, right? Because there was a patent on it. Okay, and now you see in the last 5 years everywhere every shop has a LED light. Why this happened? Because that the patent of, as soon as the patent of LED lights was expired, it was manufactured by everyone, and now you can find it everywhere, and it is getting cheaper and cheaper every day. So that is the patent. Okay, so what criteria needs to be followed for a patent? Okay, the 3 main criteria for a patent is novelty, non-obviousness, and industrial application. I'll explain each of them. Novelty means it should have a novel component. It should show a new method or new product. Okay, whichever is the novelty, and which is not same as the product which is already known. It should have a non-obviousness, means if it is shown to a person who is actually skilled in that art, should say that it should not say that it is obvious. What you are doing it's actually well established. Okay, it is obviously it will be like this. So it should have a non-obviousness component. We also call this as an inventive step. And third, it should have a utility, industrial application. A thing which does not have a utility or which is against the morality is not getting patent. Even though if there is a product which has a novelty or the inventive step but doesn't have a utility or it's against the morality, it cannot be patented. Suppose if we make a bus which is 6th floor, right, and we say that it has a novelty as well as it has an inventive step because we have added 4 more floors to the bus, but whether it has a utility in India, no, we cannot run a 6th floor bus in India, right? Because there could be a number of wires, electricity wires, and all those things which are there on the roads, and this could be very harmful or very dangerous. right? So it does not have a applicability, and that's why that thing cannot get a patent in India, right? So this is one of the very interesting example by which I want to get your attention to the patents, is that how important, how simple can be a patent. You can see there are 6 figures which I am showing. These all the 6 figures are of the drinking straws. The first patent for this drinking straw was given in 1950, and that was a paper straw. Okay, so when very simple, you can see that it was a paper straw, but for how it can get a patent, because it was a novel idea, no one has thought about it before. Okay, it was a non-obvious idea because people were not using it before, and then again there was a utility because you can drink any liquid without spilling it. Okay, so that was a paper straw, the first patent which was got in 1950. And then there was plastic straws which came in 1960. Again they got a patent because they can be reused again. Okay, so that was a novelty component that was added. And in the 1964, very just after 4 years, there was another patent which came about a flexible straw. There was a hinge in between, and then it can make the drinking easier. Okay, so that was a third patent. And then there were few more patents which were given recently. In 2009 there was another patent which was given to a flavored straw. Okay, these straw has a beads in them, sugar coated beads with different flavors, right? So they have attracted the kids who generally do not have a habit of drinking lot of water, right? And the water is very important to consume, right? So this straw can attract the kids to drink more and more water, and that's why this got a utility. And there was another patent which we got. So you can understand how simple. Yeah, for patent you don't have to think really a very complicated thing, but the important thing is to think out of box. Okay, and a very simple thing can get a patent, right? So the patent is given by a patent office. National patent office are there. Okay, in India we have when we apply for a patent, we can have a pre-grant and post-grant opposition. I'll talk about them. Okay, but the most important thing is it is a territorial. The patent is given into a territorial limits of a country. So I want to explain this first. Okay, which I told you that patent is given to a one country. Okay, so suppose if on a X product, if I got a patent in India, a person in US can make it. Okay, because I already got a patent in India, so the person in US can make it. Yes, they can make it, but once a patent is given in one country, they cannot get a patent over it. So that's a thing which need to be understood, right? That if a patent is given in one country, in the another country, a person can actually make it unless there is no patent in that country. No patent has been taken in that country. But as the patent is granted to you in one of that country, no one else can get that patent except you. Okay, so that is a most important thing. Okay, once a patent is given to a person in any of the countries, no one else will give up that same patent to any other person around the world. And if they give, you always have a right to put a opposition against it. Okay, so that is a thing. But if you want to enjoy that right in number of countries, you have to you have to fill the patent application in number of countries. There is nowadays there is a method by which you can apply for a patent in number of countries just by one application. But for getting that patent, granting that patent in different of countries, applying is different thing. Once you get granted it, then you have to pay the fees separately in each country. Then in India, foreigners can also apply for a patent. So it's not like that only in India, Indians can apply for a patent. A patent which is given to a US, okay, that same company can apply for a patent in India. And that's why all of these pharmaceuticals companies, they are making a huge, money out of their product. Okay, I'm sure number of you have heard about this patent waiver which is asked by some of the countries like India and Pakistan over the COVID vaccines, that they are asking for a patent waiver in the different countries, right? So yeah, so this is like any company can apply for a patent in India. Now, as we see that if we talk about that, what is patentable? Is everything is patentable? So yes, we say that yes, everything under the blue sky is patentable. However, there are some exclusions. There are some things which are not patentable. So rather than to study what is patentable, we generally say that yes, everything is patentable except some of the things which cannot be patented. So first thing which is which in this exception is anything, any machine or any product or any process which is against the established natural law, right? Like machine giving more than 100% performance. So we all know that there is no machine which can give you 100% performance. Even the for if we say the human body also doesn't give the 100% performance, right? Because lot of heat, lot of energy is dissipated in the form of heat, right? So there is no machine which can give you 100% performance. And we read this when we read about the engines, right? None of those engines can give you 100% efficiencies. Okay, so if I make a machine, I say that this can give you 100% efficient, like whatever fuel you are using, it can give you 100% efficiency. That is not possible. So that is against the established natural law, and that's why that cannot be patented. And if I make anything which is against the Newton's law of gravitation, which doesn't follow the Newton's law of gravitation, then that is also not patentable. Okay, then machines, a machine whose primary or intended use or commercial exploitation of which could be contrary to the public order or morality. I already told you that anything which is against the morality, it is not patentable. Okay, so that is like if I make a machine, a novel machine which can do a gambling, that cannot be patentable. Any device by which I can go and steal the things from the house, or a house breaking machine device, that cannot be patentable. Biological warfare material or devices, not patentable. Termination gene technology, we know about termination gene technology, that the seeds which are grown one time produce the seeds which cannot be grown again. Okay, so with that, which means you have to always buy the seed from the provider or the company which has given you the seed first time. We all know about the BT cotton havoc which took place in Maharashtra just because of terminator gene technology, right? Every time the seeds need to be gone, the farmer has to go back to Monsanto and asking for the seeds. And then the embryonic stem cells, that is not patentable. And what is all other things which are not patentable is a mere discovery of a scientific principle or formulation of an abstract theory, or discovery of any living thing or non-living substance occurring in nature is not patentable. So patent is given to the inventions, not to a discovery. Discovery means the thing is already present in nature, but you have discovered it. So which means then there is no intellect is required for that, right? That is just a discovery. So the patent is only given to the inventions, not to the discoveries. I'm going very fast through this because in the end of this presentation, I also want to tell you about how university can go for more and more patents and why it is important. So that's why I'm skipping these some of these slides about the patent, right? And then next is the mere discovery of a new form of known substance is not patentable. What does this mean? That there is a substance, okay, and you have discovered an isomer of that. Is that a patentable? No, it is not patentable because it's just an isomer until and unless it shows a higher efficacy and efficiency. Okay, so just merely a discovering mere discovery of a new form of a known substance is not patentable until and unless it enhances the efficacy or the efficiency of that substance. Mere discovery of a new property or a new use of a known substance is not patentable. Suppose there is a pharmaceutical medicine which has X use, and now it is again used for a Y thing. Can it be patentable? No, because it's just a discovery of a new property of a known substance, and that cannot be patentable. However, these pharmaceutical industry, they found a way around, and whenever they found a new use of a old medicine, they propose it in a way that they say that no, this is a new product because we have added a one functional group or we have deleted a one functional group, and that's why this property has changed. So there's always a way around, but as per principle, just a mere discovery of a new property is not patentable. mere use of a known process, machine or apparatus, unless such known process result in a new product or employ at least one new reactant, is not patentable. Means if there is a machine or apparatus, if it is giving a new product, okay, already known machine giving a new product, it is patentable. Until if not, there's even you it is, if it is used in a known process, it is not patentable. Similarly, a substance obtained by mere admixture, resulting only in aggregation of the properties of a compound thereof, or a process or producing such substances. Like if I mix two compounds and while mixing them, if they are giving the new compound has a property of both of those compounds, but does not show any synergistic effect, it is not patentable. Like a drug known as combiflam, it has paracetamol, it has ibuprofen. Ibuprofen is doing its own work and paracetamol is doing its own work. Paracetamol is antipyretic, ibuprofen is analgesic, right? So both of these drugs are doing their different function. They are not synergistic to the properties. Like one compound is not increasing the efficacy or efficiency of another compound, then it is not patentable. But if you mix two compounds and one compound is increasing the efficiency or of the other compound, if it has a synergistic approach, then it is patentable. Okay, and so I already told you that mere arrangement or rearrangement of the or the duplication of the known device, it is not patentable. Like a bucket fitted with a torch, or umbrella with fan, all of these things are not patentable, because in all of these things, the one product is doing its own work and another is doing its own work. There is no synergistic effect, or they are not they have not shown any new product. Okay, method of agriculture and horticulture, that is not patentable in India. India is primarily a agriculture economy, and that's why we say that a method of agriculture and horticulture cannot be patented in India. However, a new equipment which can help in agriculture is patentable. Okay, so this way we are not hindering the new method of agriculture, because we have agriculture economy, but we are also promoting the people to make more machines which can help in doing the agriculture. Similarly, we also have this thing for healthcare also. Any new method of healthcare or any new method of surgery, it is not patentable. However, a new apparatus or equipment for doing a type of surgery is patentable. Okay, mathematical method or a business method or algorithm or a computer program, they are not patentable. However, because there is another intellectual property which can give the protection to these kind of things for the computer programs. Okay, there is always a copyright which can be given to computer programs if it is written to a paper, as well as literary, dramatic, musical, artistic work. All of these comes under the copyright, so patent is not given to these things, right? And presentation of information, all of these are actually the things which are comes under the a copyright, or the symbols comes under the trademarks, and that's why they are not patentable. Then last thing is traditional knowledge. It is very important that traditional knowledge, that any knowledge which is given in our traditional scriptures, okay, all of those knowledge is not patentable. We all know about the patent which was given to the turmeric in US, and when the CSIR took the initiative and asked the US that this cannot be patented because this is a traditional knowledge which is present in India from a long back, that patent was revoked, but that patent remained for at least 2 years in US, right? So that this was a very famous case, and that's why we know about that traditional knowledge which is given already in our scriptures is not patentable. Anyone can use them. It is not like that the traditional knowledge is of India, so only India can use it. No, anyone can use them. It is free and open to everyone, but it is not patentable. Okay. However, if you do any value addition to the traditional knowledge, and then by this value addition, if you are getting a new process or product, then it is patentable, right? So this is all about the patent. what is patentable and what is not patentable. Now, if we see the process of patent in India, we can see that there are a number of different type of applications which can be done for the patent. Okay, first of all, I will say about the provisional application. Provisional application is that you, as soon as an idea comes in your mind and you are almost about to make a prototype of this, that product and process is coming to a shape. At that time, you don't know actually that how it will basically work in future, but you want to protect it before anyone else. Then a provisional application is done. So this is very important to have a provisional application as soon as you have an idea, and then that idea has come to a almost to a shape. At that time, the provisional patent can be applied. So that's why in the provisional patent, there are only very few things are required about the patent. There is an abstract about the patent, and there is only a state of art which you have to explain, and then you can get a provisional patent. After the provisional patent, once you apply for a provisional patent, you have a 12 months to file the full application of the patent. Similarly, there's another type of application which is known as PCT international application. Once you apply for a PCT international application, this means this application is valid for almost 185 countries which are under the convention, and now you can choose in which countries you want your application to be accessed. So which means you, by filling the one application, you have a right wherever you want your application to be examined. Okay, and then the third is basic convention application, a simple basic process where you can directly go for a patent application. Then if you see that there is a once you apply for a patent, it remains in the database for almost 4 years. Okay, and in this 4 years there could be a pre-grant opposition. Okay, and in this pre-grant opposition, any other company can come and see, because it is in the public database. Your patent will remain in the public database. Everyone can see it. Everyone can see it and then say, yes, this is a patent which is infringing my patent, and they can come for a pre-grant opposition. Once there is no pre-grant opposition, or if there is a pre-grant opposition, a controller will call you and will ask you about the clarification. There is always a chance given to a patentee that he or she can actually fight for his patent. Know that I am not doing any infringement. They are doing this thing, and I am doing another thing. So there is always a chance given to a patentee to support his invention. This patent controller of patent is agree with this, then the patent is granted. And after the granting of the patent, also in India there is a post grant opposition is also there. So it doesn't mean that once you get a patent, no one can oppose it. Another person can also oppose it later, showing that the patent which has been granted is not valid because this patent has been already given to me in another country before this patent was applied in India. Okay, so in this way there is a post grant opposition can also be done for the patent. So this is what I want to explain you about the patent. Now Ghanshyam, if I have some more time, probably I want to go for the things about the patent in academics. So
yes, sir. Sure.
Okay, all right. So yeah, so this is all about the patent. Now let's see how important it is in the patent to be in the academics. Nowadays, when you see the government is trying to make universities more and more self-sustainable, right? They want the academics to be research oriented, which can give them a product and which can give them the universities can be self-sufficient in getting their own funds, especially the government funded universities. The government is telling them, no, you have to generate your own funds within next 15 years. We are not going to give you any funding. And from where that money will come? Okay, and that's why the government is focusing more and more to establish the IP cells in different universities. Those IP cells what they will do, these IP cells will find out that what kind of research is going in the university and how it can be patentable or it can be used for the benefit of the public. Because in the last 50 years, if we say, right, the India is still produce almost less than 10% of the patent which US or China is producing. Why is it so? Because the funding for the research used to be given, but that research was not coming to the market. And if it is not coming to the market, if it is not getting patented, then there is no use of doing that kind of research, right? There could be a component of basic research, but applied research is when a government and we want to generate funding for a university, when we want to generate money for ourselves, then we need to do a applied research which can actually go to a market. And that's why nowadays government is focusing more on IPs. Okay, so and we say that we as a researcher in our universities, we are mostly academicians, right? And what we do is we are very comfortable in our laboratories doing our work and publishing papers, and then doing the next work, publishing paper, writing more project grants, getting projects, and then again writing more grants, writing publications, and then keep doing the same thing for our whole life. Okay, but whether it is useful, it can become only useful for a public, and when it goes to the out of your lab to the market, to the general public. And that for that the IP shows the ways how the intellectual properties can help in that. Okay, so that's why there used to be a saying that either publish or perish. Probably in the next few years it will be patent, IP, or perish. Okay, until unless either you do a patent or you just perish, right? Because government, there will be a time coming when government will only be giving to the funding to the research which can go for a patent, or which have a potential of a patent. Okay, so in a research, this figure I actually took from someone there, but this actually fits very well in our academics, right? In our academics, what we do is we generally just keep doing our research and forget about the key point of innovation. So this is actually a path which can be shown to an academician, to our students, to how to grow their own idea into a business, into a prototype, and then to a business. Okay, so first of all, as soon as you have an idea, write it down, and okay, and make a prototype of it. Show that prototype to a number of people, number of investors who can invest in that, and then again keep going, modify your idea as per the suggestions which you get. Find a co-founder, find a funding, and then launch your product. Okay, so this is the whole process which takes place for the for getting your product into a market. But this is not easy to do, even for the academicians, even for the teachers, even for the faculty. This is not very easy to do. Why? Because you have a very good idea about your very good idea about your innovation. You know that how it will work, and you know that what benefit it have. But the thing is that it is not coming to the market, because the gap between that idea to come on the paper and to come into the market, there is a huge gap. Okay, and we don't know how to get into the market. Universities generally do not have lot of that kind of facilities which can actually do a lot of hand holding for a person to bring that idea into a prototype, and once it come to a prototype, into a market. Okay, so this is a bridge which need to be covered from one part to another. Okay, and this comes under the when we see a life cycle of a product or for a research. Initially we do a basic research, that is TRL one, and then to the applied research, until the things which is coming to the market, like a full product. Okay, so all of these steps are divided in different 9 or 10 steps, and those are known as technology readiness level. Okay, so when we see about this thing, we are very comfortable in our laboratory till the TRL3. Okay, where we have done a applied research, we have a proof of concept, this concept is working, this is fine. And once this is done, from this part, from TRL3 to TRL6, where the prototype has been verified, this is a place where we need a lot of help from the government, lot of help from the people who have the ideas to bring those products into a market. And here most of the ideas of the academics, they go for their natural death here. Okay, and in the business term, this is known as valley of death, from the research resource to the commercialization resource. Generally what happened here, all of our research from TRL, reaching from TRL3 to TRL6 is hard. and this is a part where all the ideas remains in the lab and never come to a market. So to bridge this valley of depth, there are number of schemes from the government now which can help do the lot of hand holding, which can actually help our idea to commercialize. Okay, so these are number of schemes which I am talking about, that by the different ministries with the different government agencies. Like for the ideation, there is a scheme. See, for every step in this TRL, for every TRL, there is a scheme in the government. Like for the ideation, there are schemes for the proof of concept, for the prototype, for commercialization. I leave this presentation with the organizers, so they can share it with the student if they want, so that they can look into these schemes, that how they are benefit for the students and how these can be helped. Okay, so because our presentation is more about the IP, so I just want to skip these and want to tell about where to start with the IP. Okay, so this is a place where you do the IP, intellectual property, or where you file your patent. Okay, you have written, you have an idea, you have written it down, you have made a small prototype, and once this prototype is coming to a shape, at that point you need to have a IP before showing it to the public. Okay, what is the benefit of this? Because once you are coming to the public without making this IP, without at least filing a IP, then you are getting that is a huge risk which we are taking, right? Because your idea, without filing a patent, when you are telling to the people, it can be someone else can use it, or someone else can get another idea from your idea and can use it. Okay, so before that you have to file a IP. And another thing is that once you file a IP, the people who are looking at your prototype have a more confidence in you, because they know that when you are explaining your prototype here, you are not talking in the air. You have actually have a filed a IP, means whatever was your idea has actually already come on the paper. And this gives a lot of confidence the investor. This gives a lot of confidence to the investors on you, that yeah, this person has actually filed a IP, which means this person has a capability of bringing it to a market, because it has brought it already to a paper and filed a intellectual property. One more benefit of filing a IP at a very, very early stage of innovation is that getting a IP is not as is a very lengthy process. It takes like at least 4 years to get your patent. Okay, sometimes even more than that. Okay, so if you don't file your patent at right time, probably your product will be ready before, but your patent has not come into the is not granted yet. Then your product had to wait to be released in the market, because you don't want to release your patent in the market unless your patent is not fully granted. So although you can always launch a product in the market saying that the patent is pending, that is all other thing. But generally what people want is that at least your patent has come to has at least passed the halfway before the product goes to the market, right? And you can always find a lot of funders or the co-founders only when you have filed a IP on that, right? So this is what was the thing. One more thing which I want to explain here is about the startups. So right, so nowadays there is government is again pushing more and more academic people to have their own startups, to have their own IP. Okay, so what is the importance of a startup in our academic institute? Because you have an idea in the academic institute, you have started a startup company. Okay, government is giving a lot of benefits for the startups. And once you have these startups, you will be earning a lot of money, not for yourself but also for your university. Okay, and in this way it is very important. And how IPs are related to the startup, they are very much related, because once you have your startup set up and your IP is not in force, then probably your product cannot be launched in the market. This is one of the example which I shows that this is a company known as Enercos, which has been set up by our laboratory people. Okay, we have also got the this startup certification for this. But before actually applying for the startup, we applied for a provisional patent. So this is a provisional patent which has already been filed for this thing. So this, both of these things should go hand in hand. That's why I've given the explaining that how IPs are actually very much important for the academics, and how when the academics wants to go for generating lot of funding from the public, from the angel investor, from the venture capitalist, and when the academics wants this hand holding with the government so that they can actually pass from TRL 3 to TRL 6, at that time there is requirement of intellectual property that need to be filed. So I guess with this I will like to finish my presentation for today. I guess I am well in time. And
Sure.
Ghanshyam, now you can ask people who have the questions. I will be ready to take all the questions which you have.
Okay, participant, you can ask the question or write the question in the chat box. If anybody have any question, they can write in the chat box. So this is the one of the question. How does the patent work if two people comes up with the same idea at the same time?
Okay, so that is a very logical question. That to whom the patent will be given when two people with the same idea come at the same time, right? So that is again shows the importance of the patent. A same idea can come into the mind of 5 people, right? But the person who rush to the patent office with his provisional document first and can file it first, the patent will be given to that person. Okay, so that is a way. There is, I don't know, there could be a chance, like it could be 0.0001%, but that same for the same idea, same you have filed a patent for the same provisional patent for the same idea at the same time. But because now the process is online, you can even see the difference in the in even in seconds, that who filed it first. Okay, and that the person who filed it first get the patent.
Okay. So one of the participants asked the question. He had worked on the new plant compound. Can we go that patent filing for the plant compound?
Yeah, totally. You can get a product on the patent on a plant compound. That is not a problem. Okay, so now because when I was telling you different thing, a thing which is present in the nature cannot be patented. Okay, so there could be a confusion that why the plant product can be patented. Yes, that plant product can be patented because the extraction process of that product can be can be patented, as well as the product, if it has a novelty, if it has a utility and an inventive step in the process, it can be patented. Okay, there is always a ways to file a patent, right? One thing which I haven't described here is about the microorganisms, so I will also tell about the microorganisms. Microorganisms are living in nature. Hello. Microorganisms
one
are
of the
living.
question is, sir, one of the question is similar to you. Can I patent the microorganism which has been isolated from the environment?
Okay, yeah. So I was coming to this. So yeah, so microorganisms are. I haven't described you about the microorganisms. I told you that anything living which is found in nature cannot be patented, except the microbes giving. But the condition is that microbes should not be a wild type. Means it should not be present in the nature, you have isolated it. But if it is a wild type, it is not patentable. However, if you do a manipulation in that microbes by adding some plasmids or a vector or doing something different, so if you have manipulated it, you have actually changed its identity. And once that identity is changed, that the microorganisms are patentable. All right. So this was a very famous case of Anand Mohan Chakravarti, who was in the University of Illinois, that he patented Pseudomonas putida superbug, right? Because he told that he has added number of genes to this bacteria, so that the real identity of that bacteria.
I think connection is lost.
Dr. Kansham,
Yes, sir.
I think it disconnected, huh?
Okay, okay. I call back.
It disconnected. Dear participants, I think there is some technical issue. Very soon we will resolve it. By that time, feedback link is there. You can fill it. It is very important to get the certificates, and very soon we will solve all the questions, whatever is there. Once the expert is connected with us.
Hello, sir. Sorry about that. The
Doctor,
internet.
no problem. It's technical. Okay.
Yes. So if there are more questions, sir, I will be happy to answer. There's no problem.
Yeah, Dr. Kansham, please proceed.
Okay, okay. So one of the question, the patent work found regarding insulin that has been going on. So it is this unethical
Patent work around
patent regarding the insulin?
that has been going on, isn't it unethical? Well, we cannot call it as unethical, Vibhuti, because the thing is that it is ultimately going to be the use for the public benefit, right? So I don't think it is. It needs to be unethical. And then, Vibhuti, one more thing is we need to find a balance between unethical and the public use. Okay, and in that way, it is the thing is that that balance is required. Okay, sometimes, and in this way, it is not unethical. Another point which I want to add, and this I also want to add for the vaccine, the patent which is going on, right? That government is asking for that the companies to companies to or the government of US to waiver to get the vaccine waiver, the patent waiver for the vaccines. Sorry, patent waiver for the vaccines. Okay, the Indian government always have a right in India that they can, without any distinct, without giving any remuneration, they can always revoke any of the patent in the public interest. So this is a right of a government in a territory. Like if a patent is given to my X product, and now the government thinks that it is an emergency and that my patent needs to go into the public so that more and more people can make it, they can do it at once. There is nothing can stop the government for that. But still, why government is actually doing a discussion with the US government? Because if they want, they can revoke all the patent. Indian government always have a right to revoke all its patents in India. Then why they are talking? Because they want to keep things with a mutual agreement. Okay, they want the government of US to revoke the patents or to help to revoke the patent for the next few years so that everyone can make it. Otherwise, in India, they always have a right that any patent in India which has been given by Indian government can be revoked anytime in view of public emergency. Similarly, there is another thing which is known as licensing. Sometimes government will not revoke the this government will not revoke the patent, but what they will do is they will say no, because this product is known is needed by number of people, and you cannot produce it in a way that in a large quantity. We are giving the licensing to a number of companies. Okay, and these companies will also start making that product and will give you some part of the benefit, some percentage of the profit. Okay. So in this way, licensing can be given to number of companies, and this is a discussion going on that why the Covishield and Covaxin cannot be licensed to the another companies who can start making these vaccines in a more number. All right. I guess I have answered the question.
Yes, yes. So another question is does the filing one second does the filing of the IP patent allowed in only in India or the more than one country?
Filing can be done in number of countries. There is no problem. I guess this question was asked by Renuka. So Renuka, yeah, the filing, this patent filing can be done in number of countries. There is no problem in filing the patent. Even there is a procedure of PCT application in which you file just one application, and then you show your interest and in which countries you want to get your application examined. Okay, and then that way it can go to those countries for examination. Okay, so it can be filed in number of countries. There's no problem. And actually, if your patent is worth, then you should file it in at least in major countries so that you can get the benefit of it. As I told you, if you just file in India, any person in US can make it, although he or she cannot patent it, but they can make it.
Okay, sir. So यही question थे I think.
What would be the specific? Yeah.
There is no more question. So
there is one. I guess, Ghanshyam, there is one more question. What would be the specified time of a patent for
okay.
most of the countries? So see, in most of the countries, more or less, there is same time. It is like 2 to 4 years. Okay, but nowadays, because this process is too long, the government are also making an option of fast track patents. Okay, so the Australian government has already made an option for fast track. In India, we have a fast track examination, but for that you have to pay an extra fees. So if you have an extra fees, then this can be given. And generally for the pharmaceutical giants, that fees is nothing. That is even like it is nothing to the amount of research, amount of money they have is spent on research. So they generally go for a fast track method.
We are trading many products from the plant and the microorganism both. Why are we focusing patent more on the plant product? This is related to the plant product.
Why we are focusing on patent more on plant product? No, we are not focusing on plant product. We can also patent the product from the microorganism. There are a number of examples for that. There's no problem in this. Nowadays, even the insulin which is coming is a recombinant insulin.
Okay, sir. I think that there is no more question. Thank you, sir, for answering these questions.
Thank you very much
for this informative and great presentation. It was a pleasure to have you with us. So
thank you.
Now I invite our HOD sir, Dr. Sekhar Jain, for the vote of thanks. So Sekhar sir.
Thanks, Dr. Ghanshyam. First of all, it was a very fabulous lecture, explained from fundamental way to the advanced level, and I hope it will be very helpful for the participants, because we are having participants, we are having students, as well as we are having academicians also, and Dr. Akhil has covered all the aspects from layman to the academicians. So it was explained in a very good way, and I hope now don't know about what is exactly IPR, today they can say they know about it, and whoever know it, now they have deep knowledge about it. So, congratulations for the same. And on behalf of Life Science Department, Mandsaur University, first of all, I express my heartfelt thanks to Dr. Akhil because he has
Thank you, sir.
shared his valuable time with us and explained the role of IPR and how we can do patenting and what is exactly how we can say this is mine or this is yours and legally that now we know all participants know about it. The procedure is there and what are the exactly time and when we have to apply. So many things he has explained. Okay, so thank you very much, Dr.
Thank
Akhil
you, sir.
Agrawal sir, for the
Thank you, sir.
very good explanation and accepting our invitation.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks to the participants because I can see that so many curious questions are there from the participants. Means they are actively participating in it and they are doing it. So thanks to the participant to make this event successful. I congratulate Dr. Ghanshyam, another faculty member, for organizing such an event and inviting such expert persons to provide opportunity to the participants to get interact with each other. And this is only possible because of this situation that we are facing at present. Okay,
Yep.
so we are grabbing it by both hands. It is pandemic, but we are trying to convert it into the opportunity to interact with the expert. And
This is a benefit of COVID, sir, that we can have so many
that's what we
lectures.
can do. Okay, that's what we can do in this situation. And
This is very good, sir.
further, so many such activities are going to be organized by the department. So uh, the participant may be in touch with the departmental websites and all the events so that you can get it. Thank you. Thanks to
Thank you,
all.
sir.
Over to you, Doctor.
Thank you all for attending. We hope you have learned and enjoyed this presentation or this session. So we now sign out this session.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay, sir. Okay, Ghanshyam.
Please feel